All right, good morning traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through live order flow analysis using Bookmap, understanding these markets at a deeper level, really what they consist of, and it is orders. It is understanding they consist of the behavior of the traders in the auction process here. This is what we want. And we're going to understand it via the order flow, understanding the liquidity, understanding also the transactions into that liquidity and the market structure. These three elements, that's it. Now everything can be more or less extrapolated from those three elements on all time frames. Anyway, we'll continue on and I'll explain further. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here and take a look. We'll start with the S&P E-mini. This is the All Markets webinar though, so we can look at stocks, crypto, whatever it is that you guys want. Typically we start here and end here just because everyone wants to look at the S&P, which is fine. Anyway, now we're looking at the Bookmap version here from Rhythmic data. And I'm going to jump over to, because of this algo band in here, I'm going to jump over to the TraderMap Lite version or the TraderMap Pro version. And I know I've covered this with you guys several times, but this is free as an add-on, the TraderMap Lite version over here. And if we zoom out, look at that algo behavior, it's gone, right? You don't really see, you see maybe some remnants of it, but here, and we just go even to the heat map settings and go to default here, and just understand the liquidity much better here. Look at this high liquidity coming in the offer right now. Well, what do we find? We find sellers. Okay, so sellers should be able to take it down to somewhere around this 81 and a half. And that's what I would be looking for because of that behavior in the order book. Okay, we found some buyers in here, but no buyers up here. It exhausted out. This is where the sellers came in. Okay, so we're looking at structure here. Here's our structure. And we're looking at the transactions within that structure, and we're looking at the order flow within that structure. Order flow meaning the orders in the order book, the limit, buy, and sell orders. So putting those three pieces together, we're looking for some sellers to come back down and trade to this 81 level here. Okay, so we do see some, they need to get through this 82 and a quarter liquidity that we see down here, right? But we'll see. But that's the structure that we have so far, and look at where the sellers came in, and they came in again. So that's what we would continue to look for, is sellers to hit back down into this lower level here. All right, as simple as that. Now, let me. Is there any questions on that? Just reading this this order flow, understanding these three elements in here. Just a quick question. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Slowdown. Let's see here. You're smoking. Okay. Interesting. Interesting move. Okay, so we see a bit of buying all of a sudden come back in, and trading up into high liquidity here. Okay, so we'll see if this is for real, or is this just a pop up to the top of the range here, and then sellers come back in, and then we get the move back down lower. Okay, or is this a trend reversal? All right, so before we get into all those details, I want to take a step back and look at the bigger picture here, because this is quite choppy right now. We know that the sellers are in control by looking at the volume bars and the volume dots in here, and this is where they came in and took control of the market, okay, at this area in here. We see it over here as well, but we see buyers and sellers back and forth in here, but this is the majority of them in here, and this is why we're still looking for the sellers to take it back down into this lower level. Now the question is, are the buyers totally disrupting that with heavy volume? And actually it appears so. Okay, so we should see actually now, if these buyers do come in like this, and they are, then we're looking for them to take it up higher and try to take it away from this whole zone in here. And this is where we can start to look at other things like ATR or ranges, measured moves, etc. So for example, if that is the case, then where are these buyers likely to take this? And we start to measure some areas that maybe they'll come up into this 92 area. They almost did already, but then 95 up here looks pretty good. Okay, what about the figure 5600 up here, right? So maybe that's where we're heading today. So now the problem here on this analysis, this is very short time frame analysis. Okay, and it can be tricky because it can get disrupted very, very quickly, just like it did here with these buyers. And then we trade back up to the swing here, the high of the day, and now we see some sellers. Okay, so what I want to cover here is the bigger picture, because we want to put this context into the bigger picture first. Because the bigger picture is kind of interesting today. You can see, well, we had the the really big volatility in several. This is daily here on the left hand side, and the move to the downside. And then this was a Monday. Oh, I forget what day this was. August 5th. All right, and you can see the move to the upside now. And we were following the momentum and looking for momentum moves in these days in here. Well, it always we got it, and we got these gap ups, these gap and go moves in here, as you can see here on the hourly. But the funny thing was that during the webinar, we always got the kind of the move up, and then we got the pullback. And we covered that on Friday in detail, talking about this time of day and how we get these momentum moves, this gap and go, but then we get these pullbacks, just like this candle here. Now we can see it better on the 15-minute chart, of course, but yeah, that in, okay. So here's the pullback that we saw on Friday. This is the pullback that we saw on I guess August 14th here, and then we saw the other one over here, this pullback in here. All right, so that's what we're going to be looking for as well. But we're going to be kind of careful here, and we're going to just read the order flow and let the order flow tell us. So on the daily chart, this is it kind of opened here at the previous high. Well, we see a green candle so far. Okay, so we're still looking for, and it's broken the previous range. So we're still bullish in here until we see something else, which is a big question here, because look at the swing up here and look where the sellers came in. Okay, so this analysis that we were just doing on sell side over here is the same exact thing that we are looking for here on the daily chart. This is where the sellers came in and moved that market. Okay, so they're in control of this market at that point. They are being tested right now. We need to see if we get more sellers lining up, or do we just continue to continue higher and go into some of these other swings and maybe to all-time highs again. Okay, so these are some of the questions we want to answer, and we're going to start to understand it in terms of the order flow. All right, so on the hourly also looks pretty good. I mean, you can see the move to the upside here. Now look at the way that it's doing it in here. We don't see these big candles in here. We just see, and it's the beginning of the day, but we're looking for momentum in here, up in these areas to trade into and maybe through, and we're not getting that. So this is going to be a trickier day. We may come back down. We may test this swing down here from Friday. So we're going to really want to look at this Friday range in here, as well as the bigger picture from back on August 1st and the move down here. Okay, let's look at the 15-minute chart over here, and let's take a look. All right. So as we can see, like, so pretty choppy in here, and we on the 15-minute chart, yeah, you'd be mildly bullish in here. You know, you still see like, well, there's buying. They broke above the swing. We can see some wicks up here though, so we know there's some selling. We see some red candles in here. We know there's some selling, but there's more buying than selling in general so far. So we're looking for some pretty choppy activity is what it looks like to me. So let's jump back to Bookmap now, because we saw that kind of surprise move to the upside and test the highs of the day. And now we want to see if we're going to, do we get more sellers starting to come in, or do we get kind of just a retest to an area of support, and then we see buyers come back in again. Okay, so right now, well, we can kind of see the retest off of this area here into high liquidity here. All right, so it did break out. The measured move, it did only half of it, as you can see, up into this liquidity. And then we see exhaustion and selling, exhaustion and selling. Okay, back down to where that buying initiated here. So we're back to the same question again. Reading the order flow. Now sellers are starting to move it back down, but this is where it broke out from. Okay, so let's see who's going to take control in this area in here. Okay, so here's our sellers coming in. Here's the pullback so far, and we don't really have much of a read, to be honest. Oh yeah, thanks, Stephen. So you put in the blue jacket and the Academy link in there. Excellent for everybody. Yeah. One of the things that we looked for, or we covered on Friday in the webinar, and I just wanted to kind of follow up and see if there's any questions on this, is the when we're starting to look for a potential reversal. And what that might look like. Well, there's a checklist that we need to go through. But what we're looking for is this kind of curling over, is what JTrader calls it, where the market starts to turn. And then that's where we're looking for potential entry. So for example, right now, we've just traded back down to this swing here. This is the high volume node. All right, here's our little curl. All right, so let's see the buyers try to take it right back up to here or here, right? To 86.25 or to 87. Now, we're not saying that, you know, get into a position here. We just want to read this and start to understand, like, are the buyers starting to come in? We're at a level of interest. The first thing to understand is the level of interest. All right, then we want to look to see if we can get who's going to take control maybe at that area. Okay, so this one has already blazed through it. This level is done. We have a new level down here. This is the swing low here of the 930 cash open, and we are just testing it right now. Okay, so I would imagine, okay, we'd look for then, are we going to still see more sellers trade through? We are. We're going to get a really nice stop run there. All right, so the scenario would be this. If we get buyers back up, curling back in, we'd look for them to retest back up to 80 and then maybe on up into 85. Okay, we're not getting anything like that. The sellers are coming in pretty hard here. All right, here we go. All right, so here's the buyers curling in. Okay, buyers, let's see you take it back up to 80 now. Okay, so we know this is going to be a stop run. I mean, we're going to jump over to this version of Bookmap here. We know it's going to be a stop run. It is. You can see it in here. Stop run all the way down. And then we're looking for some buying to come back and retest back to where it dropped from here at 80. There's another thing I want to put in here today is let's go back to our Trader Map Pro, Trader Map Lite versions. Looks like I got my footprint on here. Well, so I'm going to take that off. Hold on a minute. Okay. Okay, so we got up to about 79.5. That was it. We didn't get to 80, and the sellers came rolling in again. Okay, so we're looking for the pullback. Now we can this same idea though of that turn, that curling over. Well, we kind of turned our head away and looked at something else, and then we kind of missed this one. Looking pretty good though. We have not too many buyers up here. We're looking for the bounce, okay, in here. We got a little bit. Then the sellers came and turned in here and then took it down another leg. Okay, so we can look for the same thing in here again. Okay, so now we're getting buyers back up here. Okay, so let's see if they can take it back up to about this 78.5 or 79 level right here. And then we're going to look for that turn as well. Now that's not enough on the sell side here. Okay, we need to see the exhaustion on the buy side and the sellers really start to come in. Yeah, I'm not convinced by it. Okay, it might do it, but I'm just, it's not convincing. This looks pretty good. That selling that curls in this area here and the lack of buying up here. Okay, so nothing doing here. Don't really see any sort of edge here. Okay, there's a bit of a skew on the order book right there, and then we find our buyers. Okay, still finding buyers on the bid and aggressive buyers, so then we'd look for this to go higher here. Okay. Now let's take a look at the same idea in the bigger picture here. Okay, so here's sellers in control, moving that market, no question about that. But this is where we started to see this curl in, and now we're seeing the curl in back up above this 79-ish level here, 78.5 to 78 to 79 or so. There are our buyers. All right, buyers, then let's see where you might take it. Then we'd be looking for, maybe some of these little areas in here, but we're definitely looking at high liquidity. High liquidity here at 85. And then, well, there's not much until like 92.5 or this 88 level here. Okay, but we're still in this range in here where the sellers took control. Okay, so we're going to look to see when we can trade up into this high liquidity. If it transacts, and if we get those sellers curling in, or do we just get continuation here to the upside? This was a nice little move, that order book at our back here. Okay, so yeah, still trading into high liquidity here on the offer. Couldn't get through that. All right, so let's take a look now. Looking for sellers here. There's some exhaustion. Looking for our sellers here. This 81, 80, yeah, about 81. Nope. Okay, back up into 85. Pretty strong buying. Let's take a look at our higher time frame in here. What have we done so far? Just to get this perspective in here. So you can see we've retested back down here into these areas, but we've bounced right back up now on this 15-minute chart. Okay, so let's see then if we're getting back up here on this 15-minute chart. Well, probably around this 87-ish area here, back up into these wicks. I think we can probably get another retest at that point. And then we'll see if we can break out and come up into like, well, around 5,600. Okay, this here is the pullback we're talking about on Friday. It wasn't really a gap and go or anything like that, but this is the kind of counter momentum move, and then we're looking for that momentum move again on the buy side. Okay, so let's see if we can get that. Okay, the bid looks pretty good. Okay, now this is a bigger picture move, but we're going to read the order flow. The bid looks strong. See if there's any questions over here. Turning into a smoking room over here in the All Markets chat room, huh? Morning, Stephen. Let me preface this, Rob. It's good to see you in here, and I just wanted to say, like, Rob, like right now, just in the bigger picture, right now. I mean, like, yeah, you know, okay, so now we're starting to get something. I see these buyers coming in here. Now they just traded into this 86 level here. If I see a bit more in here, I'm looking for them to try to get back to the highs of the day. Okay, we have a strong bid. We see the buyers coming in, and this is maybe our potential flag pattern in here. Strong move, a little bit of a pullback. Now we're looking for a strong move. Now, you know, do we have all the pieces for that though? Are they still bidding up under here? Not really. So maybe we're just going to get some chop back and forth right now. What I'm trying to do, Rob, and trying to go through is we're looking for something, and we want to filter our trading. Okay, whatever it might be just one or two items that we're looking for to filter our trading. And that's where we can get a higher probability outcome. Okay, Rob, I know you're down in Las Vegas area. So, for example, I hope you're okay with me saying that. But you know, we've talked about this example many times. The craps table, you know, is two dice, right? So what's the number that's going to come up the most? 7, followed by 6 and 8. Okay, so you're going to be betting on, you know, that's going to come up the most. Now the craps game is complex, so let's not get into that. But that's an edge. Okay, so we want an edge. So what's our filter? What's your number one filter, Rob? What are you looking for? It might be as simple as, you know, support and resistance. It could be, it could be just you're in a trend. Maybe it's a trend line. Uh, you know, uh, we talked about this, Robert Rother. You know what he's looking at? He's going to be coming in here and using the anchored VWAP, and I'm sure he would be placing one. Hold on a minute, right down here. So there's my regular VWAP. All right, so I'll put it here. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if he would have been on that there, but he's looking for a pullback into here. Okay, maybe he misses it. You can see it's been really strong move in here. So maybe he'd miss it with an anchored VWAP. Okay, but that's the way he trades. Okay, would he be making another one in here trying to get in? Well, you're going to have diminishing returns on this. Like, where do you want to place your anchored VWAP? Is it here? Is it down here? Is it here? No. The whole idea with the anchored VWAP is where are the larger players positioning themselves, and then using VWAP to add to their position, because they're trading such size that this is the only way that they can average in, is off of anchoring off of their point, and that's the filter. Okay, so here we're starting to break our trend line. Okay, so let's see it then. We got some sellers. Maybe they've already traded to this 87, but I'd look for the move back down into this 86 area here. Okay, do we see sellers? No. Okay, here this is just a small example in here, but this is a small range. Okay, up to here 89 and a quarter, down here to this 87 and 3/4. Very small range. What's the liquidity like in that area, and what are the transactions like in that area? Well, we're starting to see buyers come in. Now there's high liquidity up here. Okay, so maybe we're going to pull back to here or here. There we go. So we're starting to see our sellers come in. Now we just traded back down to the range here. Okay, but that's it. Now we see the buyers come right back in. So Rob, you can even look at these ranges in here. Now I'm just trying to keep things really, really simple. One simple thing to use as a filter. It might be a breakout for the day, a gap and go. The way we've been going through it here in these webinars, these all market webinars, is we're looking at very low time frames because we can see many, many instances of it. And it kind of has been throwing me for a loop lately because, yeah, we can read the order flow and go through it in details, but the higher time frame to zoom out and to look for those kind of events to unfold is it doesn't happen as much, and we can't go through as many examples. Okay, so here we go. Now we're getting our answer about this wick here and our buyers back up above. Now back up here, there might be a little bit of back and forth here at this 92 where we're just trading right now, high of the day. But how many times have we been up here? And look at this candle in here. So I am looking for more buyers to break that high and trade up into this 5600. Okay. Here's a small flag pattern potentially here. Are they on the bid? Yeah, they are. Okay, well then we'll look for this kind of curling in again of buyers in here. Okay, this is part of the setup in that flag pattern. Okay, we want a strong bid. We'd love to see it trade. Love to see them come in. And now they've taken it all the way back down to where they broke from here. these buyers. Okay, so that negates the flag pattern right there, right? However, this might turn into a range bound pattern now. Okay, so let's see if we get buyers back in here. Okay, we need to see buyers curl back in around this 90.5. Nothing. Okay, here we go. Oh, didn't get enough up here, right? So we rotate back down. All right, we can still look for it. Buyers to curl in up here at this 90.25 or 3/4 or half. No, nothing. Okay. Now, if we do get this, okay, here we go. Let's see, because we see a stronger bid now. If we do get this, we're just looking for it to come back up to something like this 92 up here, this liquidity. That's it, right? It's just a range bound play. There we go. All right, buyers, let's see it. I think you got it now. You got a bid here as well. And just up to 92. That's it. Okay. So now, how would we reduce the risk in here? Okay. Well, in this play here, you can probably have a pretty tight stop, to be honest. Maybe even down here at this swing, and at this 89.75. Yeah, right there. Because we're just looking for this to play out here to the upside, just to 92. And there you'd be stopped out. That's it. You took a shot at it, right? We had a filter. We're looking for it, and it didn't work out. $100%. Oh, thank you, Alois. He'd be placing it down here at this this level. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like it is super strong move here. So we'll see, right? Let's put on the other VWAP too, the regular VWAP here. So I've got two lines, and this is how we can also start to. I don't think we have a I don't think we have a momentum day today. However, one of the ways to look at momentum is look at your average VWAP or your regular VWAP from the session start and then your anchored VWAP together. Okay, so we are above the VWAP here, but this VWAP looks pretty flat in here, right? So it's bullish to be above it, but we were just down below it and then we're back up above it now. Okay, so it's not really looking all that great. It seems more like range bound. Now our anchor VWAP is here at this, just at the same, basically the same level as the session cash session VWAP here. Okay, around 85.5 or so, right? Well, we're still above it, so that's bullish. But what we would really like to see if it's more of a momentum day and a filter, we're looking for the VWAP to be down here, and we're looking for our anchored VWAP to be up here. Okay, then we can look for the buyers to come in. We look for that stacked book in here, and we're looking for that move to the upside. Okay, so do we have a situation like that today? No, we don't. Right, so looking for kind of range bound activities in here is probably based off of these VWAPs in here, at least. That's something that we can deduct. It's the same thing. I mean, like Jay Trader, he looks at his moving averages, but he's done something interesting with his he's looking at stocks, and he's looking at small caps. First off, he's filtering immediately. His big filter is they're breaking out of daily ranges. So he is looking for this kind of gap and go. And then he's looking for to trade up to an area of previous, what he calls bag holders. And that's where they're going to be selling. And he may, depending on the news that made it gap up, he may be selling hard up there as well. Right? So now, do we have that today? No, we don't have this kind of gap and go. And we have this kind of flat VWAP in here. Anyway, he's looking for pullbacks to his moving averages and then getting back in and then continuing on up. That's one of his strategies. Okay, so now we're back up here where we were looking for just that move up into this top of the range here. Looks better now. Looks like it's more likely here. We see a retest back up here, and we have more buyers. We had to rotate a few times around. So let's see now. Do we get enough buyers up in here? And then, in this case, I'd look for not only to back up to 92, but like I'd look for higher here, 94, 95. Okay. Now, what do we need for that? You need a strong bid. Okay. Are they bidding up under these areas here? No, not really. It's pretty dark in here, so sellers could take it down into here pretty quickly. Right. So again, then how do you want to play it? Well, it doesn't look very high probability to me. This was looking better. We had that bid underneath. I liked that, and we started to find some buyers, and it didn't work out. Okay, see the bid is starting to look a little bit better in here. Look at this. We didn't have that before, right? I cannot trade off of this Trader Map Lite chart. But like I said, we are working on that. Okay, there's a bit of buying as well. Okay, buyers, let's see you take it up here now. Okay, looking for them to disrupt these sellers in here and then try to break out and go to highs again. All right, so let's take a look. Well, here we go. And I want to just deviate here quickly. Okay, so we kind of went back and forth back up here, and we're back up again. I'm looking for them to break out. We've seen this many times in here on these candlestick charts. After retesting and retesting, we're finally looking for a break. Okay, now we come back to Bookmap. We started to see that. We started to see the bid underneath. We started to get our buyers, and now we got our break. Okay, now we're still looking for pullback and continuation here. I'm still looking for more buyers to trade up into these 94, 95 because we've demonstrated, the buyers have demonstrated that they are here. This is how many times have we tested up here. So now we're looking for that buying momentum to break to the upside. Okay, so here they are. Now, how's the bid look? It's not bad, not bad. So still looking for buyers to trade into 94, 95, but the big move is up to this 5,600 here. Okay, pretty range bound. Actually, kind of surprised to see that. We had the bid, a bit of a bid here. We had the buyers and looking for it, and pulled back, and they're still here though. They're still here, so we're still looking for it though. Okay, it's choppy, but we're still looking for it. And let's take a look at and do a quick study on this in here. These breakouts that occur today. Let's take a look here. Okay, so this breakout here, pretty nice. And then look at how it just chopped back in here for a while, and you get these swings in here before you get another breakout. Okay, that's today's action. Okay, so maybe we're a little too lofty thinking like, well, we're going to get it up here and then 94, 95 immediately. Okay, by just observing and starting to understand the behavior in here. Okay, maybe we need to go back and forth a few times in here, retest some of the buyers on the bid. Okay, and are they going to be here? Are these sellers interested in trying to take it back down to the bottom of these ranges in here? Okay, I'm still bullish here. The buyers have demonstrated they're here. Okay. So now we just look for more buyers and follow through. Okay, bid is strong. All right, getting some buyers. Okay, let's see it then right here, 92. Now we're looking for our 94, 95. Okay, underneath to get the bid. Okay, there we go. So again, like, we don't know. Maybe we'll get another rotation out of this. Like, this is where we just don't know. But it was more likely to at least trade up to the top of the range here, okay, based off of what we saw. Okay, we thought it was going to happen here as well. We had to do a few more rotations in here. And this is just, again, just by observing in here with these breakouts and then the back and forth, okay, in the order flow. Okay, breakouts, back and forth, and then another breakout. Okay, and there we go. There's our 94 now. And that's a stop run too. No, we're going to know that. Yep, nice one. Okay, so far it's only been a stop run. Okay, we don't see any continuation yet. Okay, but I'm still looking for buyers up here. Okay, let's jump back. Look at our bigger picture. Okay, we've come up here a bunch of times. We broke out now, and we're still finding buyers here. Okay, so yep, our 5600 looks pretty good. Okay, now we're up at 95. Let's jump back to our Trader Map Lite. Oh, Mitmont, I'm talking about buyers in here. Doesn't matter. We're just talking about anyone buying. It could be algos, could be people. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's only algos. That's for sure. I think there's all sorts of different actors in here, and again, like they're going to behave even if it's an algo. It's going to have some risk assessment parameters within the algo. So we get down below some of these areas, you might get nice stop runs. Okay, so now this looks like, again, breakout and then chop. Okay, so now where might this chop go? Well, you can see the sellers starting to come back in. We traded into this high liquidity here and here, 94 and 95. Okay, so we're back up again. Now we don't know, right? Here this trend line's holding so far, but as we know that this back and forth has occurred, several times in here, so it seems to be what the market is doing. So I'm not looking for the breakout right now. I'm looking for sellers to probably retest back down to this 92-ish area here. Okay, here they come, and let's see them trade into this liquidity here. Let's see if they stay in the order book there at 92 and transact. Thanks for hitting the like button there, a few of you guys. But yeah, hit it again, and that always helps us continue on with the best education that we can in here. Not just from this webinar, multiple webinars that we have. You can see our whole streaming. Let me show you. If you go to bookmap.com, click on education, and then scroll down here, you'll see all our streamers in here, and then you'll see our daily calendar. Okay, so after this webinar, we have Tom B in the Traders Lab. We have Zayad, which is going to be stocks and futures. We have that's going to be in Arabic. We have Frank Morero from Spanglish Trades. It's going to be in Spanish, and we have options with Doug later today as well. Okay, so all right, so here we go again. Like we had to rotate back down. We did not get down to 92, and then we find these buyers come back in. Okay, so yeah, we're still looking for this 5600 here. It's just doing it in this manner with rotations, and then breakouts, then rotations, and then breakouts. Or that VWAP off of this big move here, you would have been left on the sidelines here. Sure. All right, well, let's jump back here again. Like this is working pretty nicely. Again, I'm looking for a pullback now, because this seems to be about the right amount of market pressure here before we get a pullback, and then we're going to get some chop in here. Okay, before trading to 5600. Now I don't know that, but that's what we're basing it upon in some of these areas in here. And bigger picture, let's see here. Yeah, it's going to be really curious to see what happens up here at this 5600, because we're seeing that buying pressure starting to come in. It's not it hasn't been so clean. I mean, we get a move and then chop, 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 and then we get our move. Yeah, I want to see it come up and retest these areas, but I imagine we're going to get some selling and profit taking up around this figure, the big figure up here. Good morning, Stan. Well, the bid looks strong. Still underneath here on the bid, so Not getting our chop. We're going up right up into 99 and 5600. There we go. Look at that. We went right to it and through it. Okay, now this is going to be a huge stop run here. And we'll jump back to the rhythmic here. You can see it here. We can put the stops on chart here as well. Okay, this is now available. I believe it's available here. Okay, I think I need to first put it on this one. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Wow, that was nice. Nice job. Developers did pretty nice job on that. So it has to be on the original instrument you came from. And you can see once we put it on chart here, then it transferred right over to the TraderMap Lite version. That's great. You don't have to refresh or anything. It should also show here on the TraderMap Pro version, and it does. Okay, so nice big stop run there, 332. Iceberg orders on both sides in here. And it looks like I have to filter it over on this chart here. I want to filter it. So put an automatic threshold in here. See what that does. Yeah. Okay, this one's a little different in my opinion. Here we hit our target of 5600 and see a stop run through it. And in our higher time frame, this was kind of what we were looking for, is up into this level here. And now we're getting kind of curious in here. I think we're going to get some profit taking. I think we will get some chop in here and some back and forth. And maybe we get a move right back down to right around in here, maybe this 93 level or so. Okay, so from up here down to here, 93. Okay, looks pretty good. It's a good area in here. We see high liquidity in here as well. So let's see if the sellers can take it back down to actually around 94. Let's call it. Rainy days. You did some buying in your people, and you're a people. Excellent. You know, just to clarify something, or like, now this would be more kind of like the way that I trade. But this was my target up here. We get a stop run through it as well. I would be either flat or taking some off at this point, and then looking for the next opportunity. Okay, some buying pressure comes in, hits this 90 or 5600 again. Still finding buyers. Nothing convincing for me right now. I don't like seeing this bid being kind of dark underneath. This just, it comes up to the top of the range, and then we see the sellers, you know, if they curl in here and take it right back down to like 98 or 97 and a half here. Yep, there's the beginning of it. Now let's see if they can follow through now. Sellers. And if we get more sellers here on the retest though. Yeah, it's got to be here. This is basically the same kind of 1 2 3 pattern that we've been covering along with Shark Baloo. There we go. And any kind of reversal pattern, like, you know, looking for high liquidity getting filled, well, like let's say a Head and Shoulders, and then some exhaustion, some selling, some exhaustion, some selling. And now we rotated back again though, so we got to get one more rotation back down here for some sellers, and we're not. And the bid is starting to look pretty good in here. Okay, so let's see if they mean business here. Sellers here, there's some exhaustion. Sellers, let's see it. I'm looking for these sellers to hit the bid, and I know this is we got a strong bid though, so that I don't like, but I think we're just due for these guys to get out of the way, for sellers to try to take it back down to the bottom of this range here. That was it. That's all we got. Boy, it's hard. It's a hard read. If we zoom out a little bit here and look at this whole area in here, we know this is the stop run, and we know that we got more buyers coming in and more buyers in here, but we see this back and forth in here with some selling, some buying. Just not seeing anything really great. I'm going to jump back again here, look at our bigger picture. Yeah, you can see just kind of hovering here. Okay, highs of the day. Still finding buyers. Strong bid underneath here, but I'd still look for the scenario here of sellers right around this 01 and a quarter. Okay, and then take it down from there. Right, this is where they came in, the buyers. This is where it broke out from. This is where I'd be looking for the sellers here, and then they back down into these lower levels here. Okay, let's see what we get here. So we got the buyers, high liquidity, some buying up in here, a little bit of a stop run still, exhaustion. Boy, not much selling though, and the bid is still strong here. Okay, I'm looking for that bid to evaporate and see these sellers come in and retest these areas here. The bid is still showing some strength there, right? So I'm not going to fight that. And this is how the order book can help you. You know, it keeps you away from this. We're looking for this concept here, or this trade idea. They would look for the offer, higher liquidity over here, you know, at a lower level on the offer. These guys start to pull their liquidity and look for those sellers to come in. And we're not getting that scenario. We're getting a little bit of selling here, a little bit of selling, but nothing on the offer really. A little bit. Here we go. Here's some selling. And we are getting down below that, but this is just not convincing enough. We know what it looks like, right? So it's doing it. It's starting to do it, but it's just not convincing. Let's see if the sellers can trend back down into the lower levels here, though. There's some exhaustion. There's a bit more selling. Exhaustion on the buy side. And let's see it, sellers right in here at 01. And let's see if they can take it down here. No, no, strong bid. Still a strong bid. Look at that. Still pushing. Still finding buyers. Looking for some options levels there. Slow down 0 DTE. Okay. 09 and 14. Yeah, 14 kind of rings a bell here, I think. Is it up here? Maybe it was this kind of swing up here that I was looking for. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just we're getting this grind higher. clear the drawings here. And also let's go to our stops and icebergs here. It's not here, sorry, over here, and filter for some of the stops as well. Oh, that ought to help. But that's pretty sweet. That's pretty nice the way they did that. The stops and icebergs and the way it works on your synthetic instruments. Pretty nice. Well, Hector, if I look at this right here, like we're seeing buyers at this top edge here. We still see a bid. So I mean, the simple and fast order flow move would be looking for 05, 06 to transact. But just based off of what we've been looking at in the past here, we're looking for a little bit of chop, retest some of these areas, and then the buyers to come in and then move it. Or maybe we're going to get sellers this time. But that seems to be the case here. Even this move in here, this is not a very big move. It's only a few points, and we're just chopping around in a few points right here. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just don't think it's there's nothing in here. I think there was the clearest one for me was, I think, I can't recall if it was this one after it did this and then we found the buyers back again, or maybe it was this one here. Like, yeah, maybe it did the chop in here. Yeah, maybe it was this one here, and then we saw them again. I can't recall, but once it's retested those areas and chopped a bit, but then we're seeing that buying coming in here in this case, and we had our order book helping us too underneath. Not as much though, not as much as we've just seen the order book helping recently. Okay, so yeah, this has turned into really choppy little zone in here. I don't know, Hector. I'm not really. I mean, maybe we'll get a mean reversion trade, but maybe we won't. Maybe it just keeps on grinding higher and higher. So I don't know. Days like today, like I try to be pretty conservative because once I start to get chopped up in there, like boy, it's not fun. And again, like this is something we mentioned in the Bookmap Academy meeting, was what we're looking for is something high probability, and we want to build confidence. So we'll have to wait. I mean, until we see something good. And waiting for something good is going to come through your studying, your back testing, your what you gravitate toward. And again, that is exactly what the Academy is about. So you start to mark up your content, and then you start to look for something that you can focus on, that you like, and then you just get really good at it. I mean, like Robert Rother, like I don't know, like if what would he be doing right now? Well, I know he trades a lot of the NQ, so maybe he's really active. But this is the big move here, right? So that's what he'd be looking for. I don't know if he'd be making an anchored VWAP off of one of these points in here. I don't know, and I don't want to be I haven't really studied anchored VWAP enough to say. So then that just means for me it would be random lines. Yeah, and then I can tell you this. So like, and this is what we talked about on Thursday. You take a few trades in here and get chopped up. That's going to affect you mentally. What was the reason for your trades? Well, maybe you saw something a little bit that would kind of reminded you of your pattern. It didn't look that great, but you wanted to trade. And then you take the trade, and then you lose. And then you do it again because maybe now you're angry, or it's like, well, God, I've been trading well, and like, no, just look for that high probability setup, and then get in, and then build that confidence. We don't want to get shaken. Now, however it is that you trade, like it just, uh, whatever it is that you gravitate toward. Okay, so here come the sellers curling in. So now I would look for, okay, we have some exhaustion here. We have the sellers at the bottom of this little range in here. Now it's a small range. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see the exhaustion here and I see the sellers in here, but now they're getting upended. Okay, and we're starting to look for a trend here to the downside. But now, we're getting kind of upended in here, and these guys are on the hook. So here they go again. Here are the sellers at the top of this range. Okay, and we see buyers that watch. We'll get probably a stop run back up into O2 here, right? Because these guys are getting chopped up in here. Oh yeah, this is a really good point. Slow down. Good to know when to sit back. Always nice to temper expectations. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is it? Really cracked me up. There was it was years ago, this guy on a TED talk, and he's a psychologist, and he came out and he's wearing, like, he just looked disheveled. He had like some sneakers on. He's wearing shorts, and he comes out and he says something about, like, he's talking about happiness, and what makes you happy. And he's I just, it was really, I thought, funny, but also so poignant. Lower your expectations. So we're not looking for this huge move and trend in here, in some of these, in today. It's pretty choppy. There's back and forth in here. We did get these grinds higher here, but we got a big move. Then it chopped back and forth for a while, and then it moved again. And it's just doing that now on the sell side here. This would be very difficult to read here for me. Very difficult. This is, now we're getting our sell side move. Okay, but I would have looked for it here, not. And then I see these buyers coming in here. I see some sellers again here. I'd look for it again, maybe here, and it should go down. Well, it didn't. We had another chop and back and forth in here, by the buyers. Now we're getting the move. Okay, so that would have been a difficult read, and I might have gotten caught up in it, if I was kind of trigger happy in here. Looking for that, we see the sellers, we looking the chop back and forth, then the sellers looking for the continuation. Let's jump over to the NASDAQ. I'm curious to see what we see. and maybe we can. Okay, so if you guys are okay with that, if you don't mind, because this has been really kind of choppy. I mean, I know the Nasdaq's going to be that as well, but at least you get some point moves in here. I'm not looking at any of the pivot floor trader pivots, Adrian. And Big Spark, why there is 3.02 lots sitting? Okay, so I might be hold on a minute here. No, I don't understand the question. 52. Oh, okay. Way down here. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I don't know. Where's that high liquidity in here? Let's take a look here. Yeah, 52. Well, I don't know. The 3,000 down here. I don't know. I don't know who they are. I mean, obviously, larger player thinks the market's going to come down here, and they're willing buyers down here. Well, let's look at our higher time frame. That would be here on the daily, kind of where that buying began. Yeah, that's a huge move, right? So we'll see. I mean, that still down there. He's been down there for a while now, and I think since over the weekend. Anyway, guys. So let's actually, you know what? We'll look at the NQ, but we're going to jump over to our Discord channel. If you guys want to follow along, come over to our Discord channel, and we'll wrap it up here in the YouTube channel, and we'll dive deeper into the order flow in the NQ. So if you're interested, it's free to join. It's open to everybody. Anyway, you'll see it there in the All Markets webinar room. Yeah, we'll continue the conversation over there. In the meantime, thank you for coming. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll be here again tomorrow, same time, and go through the same stuff. So yeah, we'll see you then. All right. Yep. Thanks for coming over on YouTube there. See you over in Discord.